So we got the Stranger Things documentary, and boy was it revealing. The Duffer brothers are getting smashed left, right, and center. People are really coming down on them about lazy writing, and people are even saying that Netflix put this out almost like a hit piece on them instead of a documentary. I saw the documentary, and it's not at all what people are exaggerating that it is. But here's my perspective on it. When you watch this documentary, it gives you more of a sense of how these things actually work. A lot of you are fans and viewers, but most of you probably don't really understand what goes into making these productions. Now, I'm not saying all this to make an excuse for the Duffers. Are there plot holes? Yes. Did it leave me wanting more? Yes. But isn't that the point? To be left wanting more? They claim that everyone's story arc is going to come full circle and we're going to get a final close and something that feels nice, a safe ending. But is it ever really good enough for us? In any series that has ended, name me one series that you felt ended really well and didn't have any notes about. It's never going to happen. You cannot please everybody, and that's just a rule of life. So they did what they felt was right for their series and their characters. But we also saw how much pressure goes into writing a finale for a series. You got the studios coming at you. You got every which way. You got to make sure you don't let the fans down. You got to do justice for the characters and the stories. It's a very, very hard thing to do. But again, that does not excuse lazy writing or leaving things out where you could have kept them in. I still feel like they owe their fans a certain amount of dignity for what they told us to care about all the way through the series, and then in the finale they asked us to not care about certain things, like why there are no demogorgons. Just like it bothered all of you, it still bothers me to see scenes like they have one of the writers telling them there's got to be demogorgons and bats and things that are in the abyss, right?
There have to be some monsters in the abyss. I agree. Demogorgon, bat, dog, like something. It's crazy if there's nothing there, I think.
There can't not be, right? And they're like, yeah, I don't think that's necessary. Why would it not be necessary? Like I said before, you asked us to care about these things, the hive mind, and how it's all connected, the connectivity for 4 seasons before that. And now in the finale, you want us to forget about all that? That doesn't matter now? That, to me, does come off like lazy writing. They were clearly under the gun. They thought that the bigger plot points were the focus, and that's what was more important to cover for this finale. And sometimes you need to make a decision like that to get it on time. But just because us as the viewers watch that in context of the documentary, it doesn't mean that we are so forgiving about getting rid of things like that. When you create these series, they become a thing of their own. The fans, as you know, we feel like we own that content ourselves because it's a part of our lives. You grew up with it for 10 years. It makes sense why everybody feels onus to these characters. And the ironic thing is that these guys created this for us. We believed in what they gave us and then do things like this that make us kind of lose trust in what they're telling us. So then they tell us that the demogorgons and all that doesn't matter. They don't even give an answer that could work within the lore. Like my theory about it, Mind Flayer, he absorbed all of the beings on that planet. He goes from dimension to dimension, consuming everything that he possibly can, and then looks for the next dimension to do that with. Isn't that what they told us it does? So would it not be that? They didn't even muster up that answer. It's clear that they were at their wits' end. They have kids now. They don't even have time to do all this stuff. So it was coming to a close whether they wanted it to or not. I think that they were thinking about how much more production cost there would be, how much longer it would take them to put all that in there, adding another whole sequence of demogorgons and everything before they get to the actual vecna fight. I understand why they took that beat out, but at least give us an explanation with dignity. Like a lot of the theories that fans have come up with, not one of them was put in there, and most of them were better than what we saw. That being said, I personally still very much enjoyed the finale. I might be ripping on it a little bit here and there, but in the end, I still had a smile on my face all the way through. It kept me on the edge of my seat. And the Duffers even mentioned something like this. Feels like, you know, there's one bad episode and it's like it erases the rest of the things that made you love this show in the first place. You're only as good as the last thing you did. It's like, that's kind of the saying, and I hate that that's the way the world works, but I just prefer to perceive it differently. When it wasn't as satisfying as it could have been, I still try to look back and look at what I'm grateful for in this series. I appreciate that this series kept me entertained for 10 years. For 5 full seasons, I bought into it. It brought joy to my life. I still think that Stranger Things is one of the most unique and original stories ever put on screen. And I commend the Duffer brothers for that. I have total appreciation and love and admiration for what they do. You can see the love and the charm that they had, that the cast has with each other, the connection. That genuine integrity, that genuine energy, it showed. And it showed in the series, and I believe truly that's part of what made the series so authentic. And I still felt that the finale was authentic. Was it missing things? Yes. But Like, are we ever fully satisfied when we finish watching a movie? Don't we want more after we see a movie that we love? Don't we want more after we see a trilogy of the movies that we love? Sometimes they can put out another one and it makes it better. But most of the time they put out another one and it might ruin the whole thing. So even though I, like many fans, wanted to believe in the whole conformity gate thing, it would probably make it worse. There's a lot of ways it could make it better, but it most likely would make it worse. So we just gotta appreciate what has been put out. I do not think it's as trash as everybody on the internet is saying. I think that's complete exaggeration and means for clickbait. It was still a very well done series and a very well done finale, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I bet you did too, until you started seeing all the little nuggets of negativity online and decided, well, you know what, they're right about that. You make yourself forget about what you loved about it. You gotta watch You Don't Fall Into That Trap. I myself have to watch I Don't Fall Into That. So even though I have brought up a lot of the criticisms that have come up, and I agree with most of them, I still have always said in all my videos, I love this show, and I love what the Duffers did, and I'm proud of them, and I thank them for giving us a show that we'll remember forever. Anyway, that's just my perspective. You don't have to agree. Even if you don't, leave me a comment. Let's nerd out about it. I'm down. Let's debate it. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for it. I'll see you in the comments.